angels are calling you out to play. Come on, we'll make you feel right at home. Good day, Vail. Good day, Vail. Let's see what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring or fall, you're home in the Rockies as it all. So gear up, get ready to plan your day. The ideas are brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good day, Vail. Good day, Vail.
Hi, and welcome to Good Day Vail, a program dedicated to help you live your best life in the Vail Valley. My name is Cece Zach, and yes, I am a transplant from the Northeast, and I'm also the host of the show. Good Day Vail was developed with you in mind and helping you live your best life by learning from others how they thrive in the mountains. The show is designed to be your eyes and ears about all things to fulfill your daily life as well as become part of the community. So what do we have on tap for today's show? Well, it's something that's on everyone's mind. We have family descending on us for the holidays. We have people visiting unexpectedly or expectedly, community gatherings, and the one commonality is that everyone loves to eat, and we all love to entertain. So I'm thrilled today to have Robyn Duke Specthrie with me, the Queen of Fun, as well as Tracey Van Curan, the owner and creative director of Foods of Vail. Thank you for joining us today.
Good day, Vail. Good day, good day, Vail. Good day, Vail.
Welcome back to Good Day Vail, and I'm so excited to have two extraordinary women with me today at such an opportune moment within the holiday season. Robyn Duke Specthrie and Tracey Van Curan, thank you so much for coming in.
Of course. Thanks for having
Let's
us.
jump into the topic because I know everyone is really excited to learn about the two of you and how you see entertaining in the valley. So, Robyn, would you share with us how you ended up in the Vail Valley and why you're still here?
Well, I got here a long time ago because of my family. We had a house here. And then after that, I came back because of my career as an interior designer. So I've been here since the late 90s, and I guess they say people come for the skiing and they stay for the summers. And I've had my first summer here and fell in love with Vail, and I just feel like this is my heart home.
Well, and for the viewers, Robyn is a dear friend of mine from college. That's how far back we go. And she was a great instigation for me to end up moving to the Vail Valley as well. So thank you for that little tidbit as well, Robyn. Now, Tracey, you've also been here for quite some time.
I have.
Tell us about that.
I've been here since 1979, so, which is a long time. I graduated college, and my college roommate invited me up to Westport, Connecticut to go visit her boyfriend, and I had no idea what I was going to do after graduation. And I met her boyfriend's sister, who said to me, "Why don't you drive with me to Vail, Colorado?" I had never been further west than the Mississippi, and so I thought, why not? And somehow deep inside of me, I knew I was never coming back. I don't know how or why I knew that, so I packed as much things as I could, and we drove out to Colorado, got here in mid-June, second week of June, and I looked around at this incredibly beautiful place and was just bowled over. And I really never returned to New Jersey, where I started.
And now we all call the Vail Valley home. That's awesome. So let's jump into the passion that the two of you had, an extraordinary passion around cooking and entertaining. So Robyn, you have such a fun background as it relates to the diversity of your trades, but tell us how you got into entertaining.
Well, it goes back a long time ago. And when I think about it, my love for food started when I was a child. My grandmother was an amazing cook, European, used a lot of herbs back in the 70s. That was really unheard of for an American to cook with all the herbs my grandmother did. And she taught me about flavors at the beginning of my life. And then as I got older, I started learning from my mom, who also was into cooking. And then I got married, had this great life in the East Coast also, New Jersey, Connecticut, New York. And I somehow stumbled into a relationship through one of my best friends with Martha Stewart, sort of became a helping hand on the set, helping make food, for styling, for all of her lifestyle programming. And from that point on, food became a really big part of my life, and I sort of merged my love of color and texture and flavors from my design style into my food styling, and that's kind of where I ended up.
And in those days with Martha Stewart, was she on the Today Show and
This
doing
was
all...
in the very beginning of her career. So she was in a garage studio at first, and then she graduated to a bigger studio as her empire expanded. So
Very cool. Now, there's another little tidbit that you haven't shared with us about you wanting to expand your love of cooking. And where did you go to learn more?
Well, so at some point, I took a little sabbatical from my design career, and I decided to take some cooking classes at the Culinary Institute of America.
Just going to CIA for a short stint.
And then I decided to stay and finish out. And then I just started also working on a sommelier with them between Hyde Park and Greystone. So, yes, food is a big part of my world.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Now, Tracey, how did you get involved with cooking and then entertaining?
My cooking career started much later. I went to college for business, so I have a business degree, a marketing degree, a minor in sociology. Cooking really wasn't on my radar. Entertaining was. I loved entertaining. When I was in college, I'd have people over to our home that we lived in, and I always made the food. I always set the scene. So I did have this sort of love and gift for making people feel welcome. And then when I just up and moved to Colorado, I waitressed for the first year, but having that sort of East Coast need to succeed, I wasn't going to be happy or complete just waitressing or being a ski bum or a lift up or any of that. So I kind of racked my brain to think what I could do, and I thought, well, I'll start a little catering business. And at that time, in like 1980, catering was very blasé and plain, chafing dishes set up with meatballs and rigatoni and pigs in blankets. So again,
Chicken with sauce.
Yeah, very one-dimensional.
Yeah.
And I fortunately met this woman, Elaine Beaubien, who owned the biggest catering business in San Diego. And when she learned that this was my current passion, she invited me to San Diego to study and train with her in her business. And she was an early trendsetter in building tables. So building up displays, cascading fruit, not one-dimensional. And so I learned the craft of the visual imaging of putting food out with making it beautiful. And then at the same time, Martha Stewart came on the scene, so I had a connection to her. I had all her books, and she was also incredibly creative. So, the combination of working with Elaine in San Diego and then studying Martha Stewart, I started my own sort of signature look and feel. And so I came back to Vail all gung-ho at 22 years old, like I'm gonna, start this business and conquer the world. And so little by little, my fledgling business started to grow. And I then decided, well, I better really learn how to cook now that I've, got this passion. So I went to, cooking workshop in the Broadmoor in Colorado Springs, and
Interesting. I didn't realize that they did cooking as a side.
They
there.
did.
Yeah.
Well, that was in the 80s, and so they would have these guest chefs come in, and you could go for the weekend and learn from them. And so I connected with this French woman, Madeleine Camin, and I decided that I needed to really start from the basics, like learn the French way. Because then if you learn how to cook the French way, then you can cook
fascinating.
anything. And so I said, so she had a 3-week like mini cooking class in France in the Savoie region, and she took 8 students. And I applied for that, and I was accepted.
Oh, that's
And-
awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, it was terrifying. Let me tell you, it was terrifying. And she gave us a book, and it's called The Making of a Cook. And she says, I am not going to teach you, the basics. I'm not going to teach you how to make sauces or emulsions or reductions. You have to know all these. So read this book, and then so you will learn how to utilize ingredients. Knowing all of this. So every day we got a list of ingredients, and we had to create a menu from these ingredients. So you have to remember, this is before any of those food shows were on network TV. There was no Iron Chef. There was no, here's your basket. Here's, no Chopped, no Iron Chef. This predates that. So
Well, I love the story because it will resonates with me because I have not really learned how to cook, and so this is just a wonderful conversation that we're having, and we're just going to take a short station break. And I ask all of you viewers to stay on with us because when we come back, we're going to talk about how to entertain and resource for anything you want to do here in the Valley. We'll be back.
Good day, Vail. Good day, Vail. Good day, Vail. Good day, Vail.
Thanks for joining us for the second half of our entertaining episode here at Good Day Vail with Tracey Van Curan, owner and creative director of Foods of Vail, as well as Robyn Duke Specthrie, who is the queen of fun. Robyn, you have an extraordinary ability to pull off themed events for 5 people or 50 people or 100 people. What's one event that just comes to the top of your mind that you can share with us and the steps you went to plan for it?
Well, my best friend, Anna Maria, every September I plan a themed party for her birthday. And
Lucky Anna Maria.
She is a lucky girl, but she planned one for me this year, so we do it for each other. But the theme was Italy. And when I plan a party, I think about a lot of things. And part of the problem in this valley is we have very few resources. So you have to think in advance so that you can have everything that you need. So it's creating a menu. And I did a 7-course dinner. I didn't have enough.
How many people?
There were 20 people.
7 courses,
My
20
dining room only seats 14. So I started thinking about this as she kept expanding the guest list. How am I going to accommodate everybody? So I actually put 2 8-foot tables in my garage on a diagonal.
In your garage?
In my garage. And I have a finished garage with epoxy floors and nice alderwood cabinets.
And I think you have a photo of that as well. So,
but what I did was I got some beautiful photo backdrops that look like Spello, Italy. Beautiful flowers, cobblestone streets, and I used those as the backdrop. So no one saw anything in the garage except for that when they walked in. I sourced a lot of things from Hobby Lobby and Michael's so that I could create a beautiful theme. To me, when I think of Italy, I think of lemons and limes because it's so traditional part of their decor. So I incorporated that into it. And again, I like to control a lot of things in my own parties. So I did the flowers myself. And
where did you get the flowers?
I actually order them from a wholesaler
Okay.
and have them delivered here. And you have to get them a couple of days in advance so the flowers open up and put them in a big 5-gallon
And
bucket.
what was the name of the wholesaler for our viewers?
The wholesaler's in New York City.
Oh, in New York City. Oh, okay. So you really source from, yep.
Oh, you can source from anywhere.
Okay.
The web is great now.
Okay.
And the backdrops came from a company called Zazzle.
Okay.
And they were fabric, so they were actually nice quality. They were like heavy sheets. And the rest of it, I had to figure out, okay, how am I going to make this all logistically happen? And like Tracey, I am very organized and methodical about everything. So, okay, I'm getting lobster, I'm getting crab claws, so who am I getting those from? So Joe's Crab Claws in Florida.
Like Joe's Crab Shop Club?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Awesome.
Shipped in on dry ice. I have a source for lobster through a friend of mine who has a catering business in Kennebunk, Maine. And so she sent direct from her fishermen lobster tails.
Wow.
And I just sourced through the internet. So Goldbelly is a great source for things that you can't get out of this, that you need from out of the valley.
And what does Goldbelly sell?
Goldbelly sells everything.
From every restaurant around the country.
So you can get Carnegie Deli food. I mean,
Oh, wow.
you name it. Any famous bakery, like Prantle in the Midwest, I get this fabulous toasted almond cake from them, which is to die for.
You can get blueberry cake from Maine.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I've got to go look up.
But
Since
then
I just admitted to you that I have no cooking skills. So.
And then locally, sourcing product here. So there's the organic market across the street from City Market in Avon. The owners of Hooked have really established a beautiful
That's
little
ours
market. That's ours market. So I usually hit them first. I go to the Village Market because the butcher is fantastic there. So if I'm doing meat, I always make them a stop. And then between our market and Cut, I look for fish locally. And there are lots of other local...
And from me.
Yes, and from you.
And
In
from
fact,
me sometimes.
Tracy's got the best hot hors d'oeuvres,
Yep.
cold in the refrigerator. My favorites are the chicken and the beef bourguignon and
Right.
the little empanadas and your little spanakopita. And she's got great lasagnas and casseroles and soups.
And I, yes, have bought quite a few to entertain because, again, I'm going to admit I don't cook. So,
And I think every single party I've ever done, whether Tracy's done a large part of the catering or not, I've always had her do a grilled vegetable plate because they're so beautiful. It's time consuming.
So
and
colorful.
it's one of those things, okay, how can you shorten your time frame on all this other stuff? Because for me, to do this cooking alone without any support
you're one
takes
person.
2 to 3 days of
Yeah.
prep and cooking. So.
especially if you're having 20 people for an Italian dinner.
Yeah.
Tracey, we're going to get to Foods of Vail in a second, but Robyn, one area that you didn't talk about is sourcing alcohol. Tell me a little bit about what you do for that.
Okay, well, locally, I go to 2 suppliers mostly, and that would be Avon Liquors and Beaver Liquors. They both have really, really nice selection of wines, different kinds of wines, so there's not a lot of coverage, cross-coverage. So I really feel like I have to hit them both up. But the other source is Applejack's in Denver, and they actually deliver in season once a week, so you can get online and order what you want and have it delivered to your door. So I really feel that's a great source. And then I also have some friends in the wine industry out in Hotchkiss, Storm Cellars, and I'm part of their wine club, and so I get a lot of their wines. In fact, they just won for the Rosé St. Vincent #3 in the United States. And they have a very good Gewürztraminer. And I am not a fan of Gewürzes, but in the winter, when you're doing holiday meals, which are very robust in flavors, Gewürzes actually offer a great balance with acidity for the foods like turkeys and heavy roasts and things like that.
I'm not a Gewürztraminer fan, but you're making me realize I'm going to have to try it with you during the holiday season.
Well, we can go out to them. They're
Okay,
not
let's
open
do
in the
that.
winter, but we could do a private tasting
All
anytime.
right, let's do
road
that.
trip.
I'll call Steve
Maybe
and
we'll, take,
Jamie.
maybe we'll take Good Day Vail out with us at the same time. But anyway,
Yeah.
Tracey, Foods of Vail, you have been in existence for an extraordinarily long amount of time. Now, if I put the math together, I think you started before Beaver Creek even opened as a ski resort. So that's how long you've been here. Tell me a little bit about your current day business. When you and I were chatting, you have quite a range of opportunities
Right.
to help
Right.
service our
We
viewers.
Do. We do. Yeah. So we have a retail shop over here in Avon. So you can walk in and there's
Right by Cripple Creek.
Yep.
Yep.
Right.
And Pazzo's.
Pazzo's
Pazzo's,
Pizza.
yep.
And so you can walk in, and there's a whole refrigerated display case that has food that we make every day
I'm a frequent customer.
that you can buy by the pound, by the piece, by the pound, by the quart. So everything from chicken salad, egg salad, tuna salad, kale salad, chicken piccata, those fabulous grilled vegetables, spaghetti and meatballs, etc.
So that's the store. Let's move into some of the other things that you do.
But then we have the freezer case, so we don't want to forget about
Okay.
that. So that is completely filled with casseroles, and we also have homemade soup. So that's a huge part of what we do. Then we have a 10-page takeout menu, so you can order from us for your party. So say you don't have all of the skills that Robyn has, who she is very skilled. You want to get the food from us, so you can order the food in quantities for 6, 12, 20, whatever, and then you take them home and put them in your oven and bake them. And then we have the off-premise catering component as well. So we have chefs and servers and bartenders that will go into your home and treat your home just like a restaurant.
Awesome. Now, you had mentioned when we were prepping for this that you're also focusing on different alternative types of cuisine, such as vegan.
Yeah.
Briefly share with us where your thoughts are. with
Well,
that.
you know, I have reinvented myself many times over the 40 years I've been in business, and now I have recognized a true need in the Valley for vegan or almost vegan food. And one of the reasons is my dearest friend's husband was diagnosed with cancer a few years ago, and she just jumped on this bandwagon and she started juicing and making all of this vegan food. And so he is now completely in remission. And so she and I are
fabulous.
working together to come
So
up
if
with
I-
some great ideas.
So if I wanted to find vegan alternatives, I can find them in the store as well.
Well, I think right now it's still
Your work in progress?
A work in progress,
Okay,
but you
great.
talk to me personally, and we'll put things together. I have a few options for sure. I have vegan soups, we have some vegan puffs, but in terms of creating just a
menu.
grab and go,
Right.
we're still working on that.
Oh. Thank you two so much for joining me today. Robyn, Tracey, it was just a pleasure to have them in. And thank you all for joining Good Day Vail. We look forward to seeing you in our next episode to help you find a way to thrive in the Valley. Cheers.
Good day, Vail.